As the initial deadline for Brexit looms ever closer, time and time again, studies show that the North East would face the biggest economic downturn of any region in the UK. Teesside's skyline looks like something out of a science fiction movie, with its enormous rusted buildings and former steelworks. But could free ports be the answer to help revive the area's fortunes? It's an area where taxes and tariffs don't apply, so you can import goods, store them and re-export them with none of the border taxes that the rest of the country has to pay. This is the man behind the idea, Tees Valley Mayor Ben Houchin.
I was in government a few weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago now, with Rishi Sunak as the Treasury Secretary and Liz Truss, who's the Secretary of State for International Trade, on the Freeport Advisory Panel, talking about how we can implement them, how many we should have and what type of powers and incentives there should be within those zones. So that policy is progressing really well. I'm pleased to see we've got a seat at the table in Teesside, and we just need to make sure that they get delivered quickly so we can utilise and get the benefits of what free ports can bring to local businesses and local jobs.
The plan is that a free port could create 40,000 jobs by 2040, something that's been given the backing by Boris Johnson. Meanwhile, Labour has warned free ports risk eroding workers' rights and that a lack of regulation could benefit tax evaders.
I mean, if you want to set up a proper free port in the UK with all of the incentives that I've talked about there already, with corporation tax reductions, other tax breaks, etc., you can only do that once you leave the European Union, the single market and the customs union. So if we are going to leave the European Union and we are going to leave with a no-deal Brexit, a clean Brexit, a WTO Brexit, whatever you might want to call it, to protect North East jobs and make ourselves more internationally competitive, free zone status could really mean that Teesside could be supercharged once we leave the European Union.
So could this be the answer? And could this even be rolled out on a countrywide scale? Sophie Halsey in Stockton.